This Pioneer Field Agronomist Scott Eversgerd with this week's weekly update. As we head into here to the first full week of October, we're heading into the optimum planting dates for wheat in southern Illinois. As the rains fell last week, we got many areas that are experiencing pretty soggy fields right now, especially on that I-70 corridor north. Even fields south of there with the 1.5 inches of rain weren't necessarily dry, so we're going to be planting wheat into what looks like less than ideal conditions in a lot of spots. So when you do that, think about increasing seeding rates for several reasons. Number one, if we get late planting dates. Number two, if the soil's a little wetter than what you want them to be, or even if you're going into heavy residue, make sure you're taking the seeding rates up a little bit compared to normal for those adverse conditions. On the soybean front, got some soybeans cut last week, a few the week before, getting a few calls about the green patches in soybeans. We're seeing a green patch in the bean field where the leaves are hanging on, the petioles are hanging on, but the pods on the plants are dry. A lot of what's causing that is just stress. Originally, we always think of stress in soybean plants coming from drought, but in this case, most of it is coming from diseases. As we all know, we had some pretty hefty SDS this year, which is causing a lot of the hanging petioles and the flat pods. There's definitely some anthracnose out there in the bean fields, caused some premature death and soybean plants not ripening how they should, and also seeing cyst pressure this year like we haven't seen in the past few years. So all that combined, we actually have been sending some samples off, and some of these beans coming back with 6, 7, or 8 pathogens in them all at the same time. So it's definitely a lot of disease pressure in the bean fields, and I really feel that's what's causing some of these green patches or non-ripening in the fields. From a corn standpoint, probably the big thing going on is just late season standability as we look at a lot of crown rot that's happening out there in the fields. These were fusarium infections that happened early in the spring and are now just coming forward as crown rots, fusarium crown rot. Most of it is fusarium. However, we could see possibly a little bit anthracnose, but primarily it's going to be fusarium. Again, about all you can do is watch those fields, monitor closely, and be ready to harvest as soon as possible. As always, if you have questions, please contact your Pioneer sales rep. Thanks.